On a chilling night in Atlanta, a senseless act of violence took away a father from his two children. The stage for this tragic event was an unassuming Chevron gas station, where Jotavius Favors, a 25-year-old man, found himself in the crosshairs of a deadly confrontation. Favors, a doting father, was simply going about his day, unaware of the chilling fate that awaited him. Inside the gas station store, an argument broke out. Two individuals, their faces shrouded in the ambiguity of the night, crossed paths with Favors. The disagreement escalated, spiraling rapidly into a deadly encounter. Outside, oblivious to the escalating tension, his two children waited in the car, their innocence stark against the unfolding horror. Their father, unarmed and unprepared, fell victim to a fatal shot. A family torn apart, a community in shock, and a mystery that begs to be solved. An ordinary store visit turned deadly as an unsuspected Jotavius Favors walked into his doom. In the heartland of Atlanta, a Chevron gas station became the stage for a grim tragedy. Jotavius Favors, a 25-year-old father, stepped into the store, oblivious to the deadly confrontation that was about to ensue. A regular man, on a regular day, caught up in a sudden whirlwind of violence. Inside the store, a dispute broke out. The details are murky, the dialogue lost in the chaos, but the outcome was as clear as day. What started as a verbal altercation quickly spiraled out of control. Favors, who was unarmed and unprepared for the turn of events, found himself in the crosshairs of a fatal encounter. The confrontation escalated with terrifying speed, culminating in a gunshot that echoed through the night. The bullet found its mark, and Favors fell, lifeless, to the cold, unforgiving ground. The store, once a place of routine and normalcy, had transformed into a chilling crime scene. Outside, in the car, two innocent children waited for their father, blissfully unaware of the horror unfolding mere feet away. The echo of the gunshot would soon shatter their innocence, turning a regular evening into a lifelong nightmare. Their father, once a figure of strength and love, now lay motionless on the ground, his life stolen in an instant. In the aftermath, the gas station was awash with the harsh, sterile light of emergency vehicles. The air, once filled with the mundane sounds of a city at night, now rang with the wails of sirens and the hushed whispers of shocked bystanders. And at the heart of it all were two children, their world irrevocably shattered, their father taken from them by a senseless act of violence. In the blink of an eye, a dispute escalated into a tragedy, leaving two children fatherless. As the Atlanta Police Department steps into the case, the quest for justice begins. The echoes of that fateful night at the Chevron gas station in Atlanta reverberate through the corridors of the precinct. The tragic loss of Jotavius Favors, a man in the prime of his life, has left a void that the community struggles to comprehend. His life was snuffed out in a heartless act of violence, while his two innocent children waited in the car, oblivious to the grim spectacle unfolding before them. The Atlanta Police Department, known for its relentless pursuit of justice, has taken up the case with unwavering resolve. The investigators are on the trail of two individuals who are believed to have been involved in this heinous crime. What was their motive? Was it a random act of violence, or was there a personal vendetta at play? The answers are shrouded in mystery, and it's up to the detectives to piece together the fragments of this tragic puzzle. The motive for the shooting, while not entirely clear, appears to have stemmed from a dispute. What this dispute was about remains unknown. Was it a disagreement that spiraled out of control? Or was it a premeditated act of cold-blooded murder? The questions linger, and with each passing moment, the sense of urgency to find the perpetrators intensifies. Authorities have made a public appeal, urging anyone with information to come forward. They believe that someone out there holds the key to solving this case. They hope that a brave soul will step forward, shedding light on the darkness that hangs over this case. This is not just about bringing the culprits to justice. It's about restoring faith in the community, about showing that such senseless acts of violence will not go unpunished. As the search for the culprits continues, the community holds its breath, hoping for justice. The memory of Jotavius Favors lives on in the hearts of his loved ones, and the quest for answers persists. The investigators remain committed, the community remains hopeful, and the pursuit of justice remains unwavering. In the wake of the tragedy, a sister mourns her brother and questions the senselessness of the crime. A voice echoes through the stillness, the voice of a sister grappling with the loss of her brother. She describes the act as heartless, senseless, words that seemed to reverberate with the pulsating pain of a wound still fresh. Jotavius Favors, a mere 25 years old, had his life abruptly ended, leaving behind a void that could never be filled. A young life, full of potential, snuffed out in a moment of senseless violence. The impact of this crime ripples through the family. 2 children, waiting innocently in their father's car, are now left without him. Their world, once filled with the presence of their loving father, now echoes with his absence. The heartbreak is almost too much to bear, the pain too profound to put into words. And it's not just the family that's reeling from the shock. The wider community, too, is shaken to its core. A sense of insecurity pervades the streets of Atlanta, a chilling reminder of the fragility of life and the cruel unpredictability of fate. An everyday place, a Chevron gas station, has become a haunting symbol of a life taken too soon. Authorities are doing their best, piecing together the puzzle in a bid to bring justice to Jotavius and his family. Yet they are not alone in this fight. We all have a role to play. The police have made a plea, a call to anyone with information to come forward to help in their quest for justice. It's a plea that echoes in the silence, a plea for help, a plea for closure, a plea for justice. As the story of Jotavius Favors comes to an end, we are left with a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of senseless violence. The story may end here, but the quest for justice for Jotavius and his family continues, and with it, a hope, however faint, that such senseless acts of violence can one day be eradicated. As the echo of the sisters' plea for justice fades, we are drawn into the heart of a community in grief, yet united in purpose. Atlanta, a city well-versed in resilience, is once again tested, and it responds with a collective strength that is both inspiring and humbling. Candlelight vigils are held, stories are shared, tears are shed, and amidst it all, a resolution is birthed. To not let Jotavius' story be just another statistic, but a call to action. The community rallies, reaching out to one another, extending support to the grieving family, and echoing the call for information that could lead to justice for Jotavius. The local church organizes a fund to support the now fatherless children, while neighborhood watch groups double down on their efforts, promising to keep an eye out for any information that could lead to the perpetrator. The senseless act of violence that took Jotavius' life has left a deep scar, but it's also ignited a spark of unity, of resolve, of defiance against the forces that seek to sow fear and discord. As we wrap up this heart-wrenching story, let's remember that it's not just the responsibility of the police or the authorities to ensure justice. We, as a community, as a society, we all have a role to play. And if Jotavius' story has taught us anything, it's that when we stand together, we can make a difference. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this, and remember, your voice matters.